everybody, it's me, Over Jones, back with a new video. I got a bit of a headache. We've been doing been thinking about a lot of things. As I said in the previous video. The title of this video is Know Your Enemy. Who is your enemy? What is your enemy? I think it's good we think about these things before the feces hit the oscillating impeller, or SHTF, whatever term you want to use. Know your enemy. This is extremely important. As the saying in GI Joe goes, knowing is half the battle. I think it's very important that we try to gather as much information as we can before we really get moving on any plans that we may have. Know your enemy. Who's your enemy? First off, your enemy is in the mirror. That's right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it with make sure you have as much information as you can. The problem that some people may have is not just underestimating the enemy, they overestimate their own strength. They overestimate their own themselves, essentially. Knowing your enemy, essentially, you're your worst. You are your worst enemy. Just about anything that can happen, it's all about how you respond to it, and it's best that you equip yourself first with a bit of humility. Understand that you do have weaknesses. You have strengths, which is important, but you do have weaknesses. I would say I know my weaknesses are my appetite. I love to eat. With that being said, I pay a lot of attention to how I use food currently. Before things go south, before we have to worry about anything going bad, I try to make sure that I have enough food to sustain the type of appetite I have. I had to make sure I stock things I know I would enjoy eating, things I know I can stretch out. I have a big appetite. I like to eat, but I can stretch my appetite out to where I can eat small portions, once in a while, to a way that can continue to be effective, even when I'm doing hard work outside, whether it be yard work or stuff in my shop or working on the truck. I try to stretch out my meals to where I can eat small portions and still be somewhat effective. Or still be effective. I want to be effective, especially if things go south. But I always want to make sure I can learn how to stretch things out. That's one example. If you know your weakness is your fitness, that you're not fit, I think it's good to try to get in shape. If your weakness is you're lacking certain skills, like essentially like basic first aid, it's best that you brush up on those skills. You fill up this cache. Fill the cache up here. Before you worry about filling up the cache, in your closets or your pockets. Or your pantry or your gun locker or what have you. Fill this up. And not just my cowboy hat. Fill your mind up. But in order to do that, it does take having some humility. That allows you to have the understanding that you don't know everything, you can't do everything. So what you can do is work on what you're able to work on. Knowledge, fitness, skills, things like that. And you can go from there. You'll be better prepared. You won't let your enemy get the best of you. Second, what I believe your second enemy is, aside from yourself, the environment around you. It's important to understand what's around you at all times. I understand we get busy with things. It may take our attention. It may put our attention too focused on one thing, but we should always be mindful of what's around us. Society, or basically the world around us is filled with many hazards that can, pose a risk to us at various degrees. I remember I almost When I was picking up some, working on restoring a tool that I just recently purchased, and I needed some plywood. I remember there was some wood taken out from a roofing project, where I live. And so when I went to go pick up some wood, pick up a piece of plywood, there were nails sticking out. I put my foot down, and a rusty nail went through, not through my foot, but went through my sandal and through my sock, and I felt it. I said, okay, so I failed to pay attention. It was a blessing that I didn't step on the nail. But fortunately nothing happened. So I noticed the nails there, and I paid better attention. And that can happen. It can happen, in a lot of ways. Whether it be, something, maybe it be an oil slick that you run risk of, running into and slipping, or it could be someone who would try to deceive you, try to use your weaknesses against you, try to trap you. So it's always good to, first, know your enemy, know yourself, and know your environment, know what's around you. Now, mind you, these are things that I've just thought of. I'm pretty sure there are probably better videos out there, more informative than what I have, but I figured I'd give my thoughts on the subject. Knowing your enemy. I believe your third enemy are other people. Now, not everyone, but particular types of people. One that I try to look out for are anyone who try to get over me. People who try to, like I said, use your weakness to their advantage. I try to look out for that. I try to be so. Usually when I meet people, I'm fairly quiet. I do like to talk. I try to be mindful of the things I say. Make sure I don't give away too much information that I may not want I don't want that person to have at that moment. If you look, you ever met One-Eyed Patriot? We met before, and he would probably tell you the same thing. I'm a bit short with words at first, but as I get the ball rolling and I get a feel for who I'm talking to, I'll be more engaged in conversation. And that's say that I don't look at everyone who crosses my path as a potential enemy. I don't. But I like to see where a person is. I like to see where their mind is before I consider engaging in conversation. And before I give my personal opinions about things. I don't always like to step on toes, but I do like to exchange thoughts and ideas that I can believe will be part of the growing process of being a better prepper, being a better employee, better friend, better human being overall. So those are some of my thoughts about who's your enemy, and that's important that we know who our enemy is, and what our enemy is. First, look in the mirror. That's your first enemy. Second, look at your surroundings. Third, observe. I believe it's important that you observe the people around you. Those are just three. If you have more, I encourage you to share them in the comment section. If you like what I said, let me know. If you didn't like what I said, please let me know. I only ask you to be civil to the other people who are watching the videos and leaving comments. That's my video. I'm Edward Jones, and you take care. Have a blessed day.